Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope you're doing fantastic. I know I certainly am. I had a headache, but I got over it, so yeah, now I'm good. And well, we I'm going to get into some conspiracy theory stuff, right? I mean, everybody loves a good conspiracy theory, and just because it's a conspiracy theory doesn't necessarily mean it's not actually conspiracy fact. I mean, it's up to interpretation, I suppose. But then again, there are times when a conspiracy theory ends up being quite true. But then, I guess through the mainstream media or whatever, we have become so conditioned to believe that certain things are conspiracy theory that it I guess the collective never fully gets over that. Right? So, like, for example, UFOs. UFOs, like, I'm 50 years old. And for the vast majority of my life, UFOs have always been kind of a fringe topic. Meaning, if you saw a UFO or anything like that, or anything that you even suspected, there was always what they called the giggle factor. Like, they would always, ooh, aliens are coming, woo, whatever. And there was always that. And now, all of a sudden, we have all these hearings these congressional hearings and all this stuff going on in the Pentagon now admitting that they are studying and tracking UFOs and, or the UAP now. Okay, they've changed the name. Okay, they changed it from UFO to UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. I mean, okay, that's cool. I mean, it is unidentified, it is in the air, and it is a phenomena, no doubt. But it's like you wonder why all of a sudden now it's becoming a thing, right? Now all of a sudden it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. It's just they're admitting it happens, and they're admitting that. And the fascinating part of it is that you really don't see them coming from space, right? You see them in the sky, but where they're witnessed, if they're witnessed entering and exiting, it's always in the ocean or some large body of water or whatever, or even into solid rock side of a friggin' mountain, right? So anyway, there's that part of it. That's just kind of that part. And what is that? What I'm talking about now? No, but it is very interesting. And I do believe that I think it's fascinating, and I'm sure I will talk about this. However, today my conspiracy theory is to do with, well, fluoride and your pineal gland. Oh, by the way, please, loved one, if you have not yet, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. I would so appreciate it. Seriously, I would. Okay, getting back to the conspiracy theory. I do have my notes. And, like, I was going to start out with kind of a little bit of a joke. Just kind of imagine your higher self, your true self, kind of angrily saying, this damn controller doesn't work. And then maybe somebody else, maybe the guy next to you is like, what do you mean? It's like, the controller for this body that I'm operating right now, it doesn't work. I can't access it. It's like, well, what would be the controller? Well, the controller would be the brain, right? Because I believe that the brain is the kind of the go-between between your higher self and your body. Well, maybe not necessarily your brain so much. Your brain, I mean, it is part of your brain, but it's the pineal gland, which is that gland right in the center of your brain. Most people say that it is your third eye. Rene Descartes, the great French philosopher, he said that it was actually I wrote it down. Hold on. So sorry. He said that it was the point of contact between the soul and the body. Now, I can tell you, I do believe that to be true. Okay? And the ancient Egyptians actually had very large fascination with the pineal gland, and that it looks like a little bitty pine cone. Okay, and it's always been kind of fascinating how in Egypt, and then in lots of cultures really, they've always seemed to had a fascination with pine cones. If you ever look at some of the old hieroglyphs or whatever, petroglyphs, I don't know. Okay, remember, I'm not an expert in any of that. But anyway, you always see these people depicted either carrying this particular handbag, right, or a pine cone. It's like, why you just walk around carrying a pine cone? What's the fascination with the pine cone? And it goes a little further than that. The Eye of Horus, which is a very popular symbol. A lot of people in the esoteric community use, they wear it as a pendant on their necklace. A lot of people get the tattoo of the Eye of Horus. It's, if you don't know, it's the shape of the eye with the little curly thing coming off of it. Well, the fascinating thing about the Eye of Horus and the pineal gland is that the Eye of Horus looks just like the pineal gland, kind of from a side view. Or like even if you were to slice the pineal gland in half and kind of lay it open, that's what the pineal gland looks like, is the Eye of Horus. And the Eye of Horus has a lot of very deeply spiritual meaning to the ancient Egyptians. And then another thing that kind of brings up is maybe they weren't as, not up to date as we like to think. Maybe the ancients were a lot more technologically advanced than we have been led to believe. And why would that be the case? Well, that's a whole other rabbit hole. That's a whole other conspiracy theory. And I will be more than happy to go down that rabbit hole with you. However, in this particular video, not so much. Well, I'd love to, but but I'm trying to stay on topic here. So, the pineal gland we can look at it as the transmitter receiver. Like, most people are familiar with the analogy of whatever frequency you're dialed into, just like with the radio stations. Like, you can turn on a radio in your car, and depending upon which radio station you're dialed into is the one you will hear, the one you will perceive. And same deal with your brain. Like, depending upon which frequency you are dialed into is the reality you are going to experience. All right, that's simple enough. Most people get that. But it's like, well, where's my transmitter receiver? Where's my actual radio antenna? That would be your pineal gland in the dead center of your brain. Now, science says that it really doesn't do that much. It produces melatonin and things like that. And all that is true. Okay, fine. But when you get more into the spiritual circles, it's like, yeah, that is the connection between our higher self and the brain, which controls the body and all of that. So my little joke about your higher self saying this controller's broken, or the antenna in the brain of the avatar that I'm controlling isn't working. It's like, well, why isn't the antenna working? What could possibly cause that to happen? Well, that's where fluoride comes into the picture. And there's other reasons too. But fluoride causes calcification of the pineal gland. It causes calcium deposits to build up inside the pineal gland, making it very ineffective, making it not work. Now, why would that happen? Why would the controllers, the powers that be, the elites, why would they want that to happen? To keep you controllable, to keep you docile, so that you would not understand and know your true power. To understand that you are an eternally powerful creator, divine spark of the one true creator. Right? That would be very beneficial to them to keep you as a worker bee, to keep you dumb. And then there's also the Nazi myth regarding fluoride. How during the World War II, during that whole era, the Germans and even the Russians controlled the population, particularly those in concentration camps, but whatever. But controlled them by feeding them large amounts of fluoride, which kept them docile and controllable. And also so that they could not access their true higher self, so that their pineal gland would not work, and their higher self was basically cut off from the avatar, the body, and then the body with its brain doing its thing. We can still operate, we can still function. Some people refer to them as NPCs, people out here who are just kind of robots going through the motions. I'm not going to get into NPCs, although I will. I'll go there. But like I said, I'm trying to stay on topic. So work with me, please. So anyway, mainstream media says there's no connection to fluoride and making people docile and or controllable. They discredit the Nazi myth. Well, of course they do. Right? I mean, don't go to Google and try to find out about this. Hello. I mean, what do you think you're going to find there? Do you think they're going to be like, yep, the elites are definitely controlling you by putting fluoride in your water supply? Right? They put fluoride in your water supply, but go grab a tube of toothpaste. It says if you consume even a small amount, you need to contact the Poison Control Center. For what? Because fluoride's bad for you. And I know it's good for your teeth, makes your teeth stronger and all that good stuff. Okay. It's not the only thing. I'm not going to get into that. My dentist about flipped out whenever I said it. Please don't put fluoride on my teeth. It's like, huh? You don't want fluoride on your teeth. Why not? Because I don't. I mean, it's personal. And they almost got offended. But, I guess that's something they're going to have to work through on their own, right? But anywho, so yeah, good grief. Fluoride calcifies the pineal gland, which is your transmitter receiver to the outside, to the spiritual realm. So if you would like to open your third eye, if you would like to get a much higher connection to the spiritual realm, if you would like to kind of peer outside of this construct, outside of just what your eyes can see, then you would probably do yourself some good to get into decalcifying your pineal gland. And, I mean, obviously, tap water, there's a lot, it's not just fluoride, there's all kinds of bad things in tap water, chemicals and just whatever, chlorine and whatever. Point is, quit the tap water, first of all. Okay? And there's other ways to decalcify the pineal gland. Look it up, or maybe I'll do a video on that. I do know some methods, and meditations are very good too, where you focus energy on your pineal gland. You breathe life into your pineal gland, and those kind of things do work. In fact, a couple of years ago, I did a guided meditation for activating the pineal gland. And it was really weird because during this meditation, I was following along. That's the whole point of a guided meditation. But during one point of it, and it wasn't long, it's like 15 minutes maybe, possibly. Maybe 20, I don't know. Anyway, at one point, right in the center of my brain, and I do mean in the dead center, because the brain has hemispheres, left hemisphere, right hemisphere, there's always a pair. But the one thing that's not is the pineal gland. It's right dead in the center. It's right in the center of your brain, right from every angle, that it's in the dead center. But right in that, and it's like, well, how do you feel something from inside your head? I don't know. That was the crazy thing that happened. At one point, I felt something that just kind of like it just kind of boop, and it almost felt like, was that like the size of maybe a ping pong ball? I don't know, but it was very strange because it almost felt like something just kind of popped in, but I was definitely focused on that area, and but anyway, that did happen, and that was pretty wild. That was because it was like, oh wow, what just happened? I mean, it kind of startled me. Yeah. Anyway, so we can get into that, but for now, I was just kind of want to get into the whole conspiracy theory behind fluoride in your pineal gland, and why would the elites, why would the controllers want us to be docile and controllable? I mean, it all goes back to the whole thing about being, produce, consume, obey. Just be a good human. Just shut up and produce goods and services and consume goods and services and just obey. And don't get out of line. Just don't do anything. Just keep doing that. Right? That's being a good human. Don't think. We'll think for you. Watch the news. We'll tell you what to think. Right? And the best way, apparently, to keep people okay with that, to keep people in that state of mind, I guess, to keep them from their higher self, their actual soul, from being able to be like, hey, hello, wake up, is to cut them off from their pineal gland. Maybe this sounds kind of silly to you, but I've got to believe at this point, if you're still with me, you understand. But, and I may be preaching to the choir, but then again, you may have just needed this reminder. I mean, sometimes we all do, right? So the Eye of Horus, I'm just making sure I got all my notes here. The Eye of Horus from the ancient Egyptians. Obviously, they were very fascinated with the pineal gland. Like I say, the Eye of Horus, kind of from a side view, and I think they say if you were to slice the pineal gland and kind of lay it open, it looks just like the side profile. The Eye of Horus looks just like the side profile of the pineal gland. And then there's the thing with the pine cones, which is also cool, and pineal gland, pine cone, whatever. That's pretty cool too. Anyway, loved ones, yeah, I need you to start looking into decalcifying and activating your pineal gland, your third eye. That is your connection, your transmitter receiver to your higher self, so that you can access outside of the construct, so that your higher self can communicate well and get back in control of your body, because it's on the outside saying, damn it, this controller don't freaking work. I need this guy to fix his pineal gland. I need this guy to fix his third eye. I need this guy to fix his brain, so that I can get back to directing this body into a much more fulfilling and happy life, and out from under the thumb of the powers that be. Anyway, loved ones, that is what I got. And please like this video, share it with somebody. I know you know somebody that could use this little tidbit of information. Yes. And it's not just all woo-woo. There is, I mean, nobody can really deny the fact. Well, they can, and in the mainstream media, they certainly try to deny that whole Nazi myth, that they try to control the people in the concentration camps or the masses and all that good stuff by giving them high doses of fluoride. I mean, of course, they're going to say that didn't happen, because they're still doing it today. So why would they say, yep, that's what they did? They're still doing it now, today. So, of course, they're going to say that didn't happen. Of course, they're going to say that. Yeah. So, please share this video. I know you know someone who needs to hear it. And like and subscribe. Definitely please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And I love you. I do. And I will be back directly.